be around gifted musicians, isn't it? Have beautiful, beautiful music. Welcome to Miracle Center for Spiritual Living. For all of you in the audience and all that are out there on Zoom. This is the order of service today. We're going to be talking about pieces into peace. And the weekly topic is putting pieces together. But before we start, let's do our invocation. So if you would, just be still. Just sit down, put your feet flat on the floor. Take a nice cleansing breath. Infinite Spirit, in whom we live, move, and have our being, we know that you are the ultimate power, the ultimate presence, the ultimate activity. And we know that in this day that you are with us as we have this wonderful service today. We know that we are blessed. Board of Trustees are blessed. Musicians are blessed. Usher is blessed. Our Zoom technician is blessed. Each and every person is blessed. And we know that the service is blessed, and that all that's said and done during this meeting and this meeting after this is all blessed. Reverend June, who is going to be doing our service remotely today, is blessed. And we just know that all is done in divine order. And if you are in agreement with me, you can say, and so it is. And so it is. Amen. Thank you. Welcome, welcome, welcome to this house of God. We are at 2653 South Taylor Road in Cleveland Heights, Ohio. And we get the part of the storm that we like to get. We get a little bit of rain. The rest of the country gets all of the heavy duty, the heavy lifting, the flooding, and whatever. And we get a little taste of rain.
So blessed.
So blessed. We are so blessed. We are the ones we have been waiting for. No one else. When we consciously choose peace, peace will manifest in our personal lives and in the world. Affirmation. I am the peace I see in the world. Well, let's say that together. I am the peace I see in the world. All right. Summary of today's topic. This month, we have explored inner peace, peace with others, peace and community, and world peace. Today we are going to pull all of the pieces of peace together to explore the question, quote, what is mine to do? Quote, to have a grand rising and reveal peace on earth now. Peace of mind, point of view. We are the ones we have been waiting for, Karen Drucker sings in her song. We are the ones. Quote, I have been feeling like I can't make a difference. I've been feeling like there ain't no use. Feeling tired and a little unconscious, coming up with any kind of excuse. Are you feeling that way? Here we are talking about creating peace on earth. Who are we kidding? There are still wars, not to mention gun violence, racial tensions, COVID diseases, and more going on all over the world. How can it be possible to have peace in the world? Let Dr. Holmes' inspiration be our inspiration by setting clear and powerful intentions to consciously being the presence in our own lives, we are impacting the entire world with our peace. And now, we'll bring our message from Reverend June. Anything is possible when we believe. Sounds like a song, doesn't it? When we believe.
Good morning, to quote Fran Daniels. Hey, everybody.
Hello.
Oh, I heard some familiar sounds. How wonderful, how wonderful. Before I start speaking, if it's easy to do, if you would play the song in the garden, and then I'll get started speaking this morning. What a beautiful blessing. I chose that song this morning because it came to me that after reading through and listening, I was able to get to a couple of the services and heard the message. I have read the messages from the past weeks. And that song, just after my focusing on myself, what am I going to do? What am I going to do here? What am I going to do there? And then that song came into my mind. And I think about this interesting happenings in our society, in our world, especially here in our United States. That song to me typifies exactly what we ought to be doing. And maybe we should send it by wire in millions of languages throughout the world, just for people to listen to and contemplate on periodically during the day. And what it brings for me is the answer, the essence, the truth of the month's focus. It's the theme is pieces into place. The monthly theme, pieces into place, is not correct, but it sure sounds right. Pieces into peace. And currently our peace, P-E-A-C-E, is fragmented. And there are pieces all over the place that could be just brought together in simplicity, in ease and grace. And one of the ways that we could do it would be to listen to the message of the song. I come to the garden alone. And knowing that we are all one with the Christ, with God, with Buddha, with whatever you want to call your essence of truth as God. If I come to the garden alone, the word alone does not really tell the truth, because we come together. We come as one. We come as one being. We come as one essence. We come as one truth. So I come to the garden alone when the dew is still on the roses. Where the dew, were the roses. If you are a person who loves flowers, I think most of us do. And if you have flowers in your yard, or you're around flowers in a lovely park or scenery, if you're out early in the morning, the dew is on the grass, the dew is on the flowers, and it's a sparkly, the light comes and it shines on the beauty. And if we ourselves are taking ourselves into the garden, then we are, of course, a part of that beauty. And within that beauty and within that garden, there are times when I abuse the garden. I know that. Abuse the garden by not slowing down enough to pick up that remote, push that little red button up at the top. The house is silent. And I'm in the garden because I'm in my physical space, no matter where I am. And the garden essence always brings forth this lovely whiff of peace and influences our brain, literally, not listening to the yada, 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 didn't, and not the spiritual truth of who we are. So we come into our garden, whether we're driving our cars, whether we're sitting here and having church service, whether we're eating, whether we're preparing for something, everything we do, we're within our garden. But do we submit our blessed selves to recognize that there is even a garden that we're in? Do we understand what it is to be peace? Do we understand putting the pieces together? And as the song was related to, we are the ones that we've been waiting for, by Karen Drucker. We are the ones. It's a quote. I've been feeling like I can't make a difference. I've been feeling like there ain't no use. Feeling tired and a little unconscious, coming up with any kind of excuse. All of those things are with us within the garden. The most important aspect of the garden that I have begun to see very, very clearly is to being honest in the garden, being honest with my God self. Many excuses about everything. And within the last, how long have I been focused on this? The last series of actual doctor's appointments and the process leading into that, having been put aside. Do you know when you got a pain? Yes. Do you do something about the pain? Sometime. So within that garden that we are in, I feel through my meditations, my observance of my own garden, that there's a lot lacking, not in the garden, because the garden is always beautiful. The garden is synonymous with God, that there are many, many pieces. Actually, to tell the truth, there's so many pieces that I need to deal with within this garden that I don't even know which one to pick up first. But somehow all those pieces just keep glittering and shining, and the dew keeps everything damp and beautiful. And all of a sudden, oh, I have a problem. Oh, I think it hurts bad enough to do something with it, about it. That's a start, picking up a piece, actually recognizing what's going on in your life. The garden's always there. The garden is always there. Do we recognize the specificity of how and what we need to do within this sacred space that we have, these pieces that have been put together in our own private individual self. On my screen, I see my sister sitting right below me. And the specificity of she and I for years as we've been growing up. The twins, the sisters, you look a lot alike, this, that, and the other. And the truth is, our gardens are so unique and special between the two of us because we have fun talking about people who think we're so much alike because we know we're unique and different. We always have. And that's such a joy. And if I could see those of you out there in the audience, I know that you're part of me and you're part of me and I'm a part of you. So getting back to this, putting the pieces together, focus on what it is that you truly, truly want. And again, I think if we put this song that Mahalia Jackson just brought to us in as many languages as we could, and maybe it could be a fundraiser for Miracle Center, just a buck or two here would be great. Just send them the song, ask them to send us back $1, and to use the song to center themselves before you go to any of these big meetings or into your own center of yourself, your own being, and accept the fact that peace of mind is a point of view. Peace of mind is a point of view. And it is so, so special, so unique, and needs to be nurtured. My daughter brought me a orchid, a purple one. She had bought me a fake white one, and I did make the remark, like, I like orchids, and I really like the live ones. I don't know if I was being rude, but anyway, out of that comment, she bought me a orchid that was violet color. And she called the other day and she said, "Have you put any ice cubes on the orchid?" And I said, "Oh, I haven't." You know what? If you don't nurture something that beautiful, the next thing you notice is that it's going to wither and it's not going to be violet colored anymore, but it's going to stay an orchid, but it's not going to be very, very nice to look at and bring joy into your life. So just think about how many pieces that are just waiting for you to just pick up and clarify what they are. What the heck are they doing there? What are you doing with them? This is our blessed time. This era of not feeling so good sure reminds you of when you did feel good, and the oneness of the two. And Reverend Leora and I were talking yesterday, in fact, and we talked about way back in the beginning, our first classes that we took. And then as ministers, how we had people in our first class. And to a person that we have talked to this little talk with about people being in your first class. Every single time somebody is in their first class, they bring up the subject. Well, if God is one and all there is, why do we have war? Why do we have illness? Why this? Why that? And it's a little hard to wrap your mind around. but it's the basic truth of who and what we are. God is all there is. It is within, shall I say, the lack of harmony within the public leadership these days. We'll just take the United States of America. The harmony and the opposite harmony is one of those blessings that we are, one of those essences that we are. We just are, and it's wonderful to be. But it's also one of those that we forget quickly and too often. And Dr. Holmes says, let Dr. Holmes' inspiration be our inspiration. So if you're in a point where it doesn't seem like the pieces are so sweet like candy, or the flowers are so sweet to smell like roses, those are the pieces that we've got to check on in our lives, in our essence, in our truth. They're there because, to answer the question about why there are wars and why there are colds and why there are this and why they are that, is because there is only one God. One God. And when we recognize that these occurrences are within our human focus, that's why they keep showing up. They're pieces that we need to massage, that we need to love within ourselves, so that they don't become the primary focus of our lives. Money is not the focus of our life, but it is for so many of us, because we don't take the time sometime to learn how to value it, to learn how to keep it, to learn how to bless ourselves if we have it. We always have it because it's God, so it's out there somewhere. I'm looking at the trees across here, across the way, and at the side of my house, across the street. There's a lot of leaves, and in a few weeks, we're going to be saying, oh my gosh, look at all the leaves. Why don't we look at all the blessings that we have? Why don't we look at the health that we have? Let's join ourselves into the garden. Just move into the garden, step into the garden, walk around in the garden. What is the line? And you tarry there. You tarry there like no other has ever known. Seems like I hear that expression, but I know it's not from our garden. We hear the expression like you've never seen before. Let's live like we've never lived before. Let's be the focus of love and peace and joy and health and accommodating somebody else within this world that is so beautiful. And what's unbeautiful about it is what comes up in our thought patterns. It comes up in our thought patterns, and it can be pervasive. And when it is pervasive, obviously, well, for me, I think, not to give advice that maybe you will or won't follow, but when something becomes pervasive, do something about it until it becomes a point of, let's say, treachery in your life. There are many, many other things that I would like to be doing. And I know there are many other things you would like to be doing. I will be moving around in this chair just because of some of those things that I would not like to have happening right now. But since I woke up and decided to start putting the pieces in other places, there's a movement, there's a path, there's an essence of truth of God, of who I am at my center of my being. And I love it. I love myself. I love myself the way I am. And I am attuned into being better in my heart and in my soul and in my life. And part of the message that I want to focus on today is our song. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Where else can we start? And what joy in us starting with ourselves is we're such a multiplicity because we're all one. So if I start and you start and you start and you start and you start, just within the people that are within my sound of my voice, what if each of us decides to be objective with ourselves, be honest with ourselves, know who we are, know we're health, know we're beauty, know we're prosperous. Look at how successful we are being within this Center for Spiritual Living, this established fact of truth and beautiful people who come together in thought and understanding and knowing of who we are. The thought came up in my mind, which no, I'm not going to say it. I'll say it opposite. We're not small. We're not small at all, but we are mighty. See, that other thought came up, but no, we're not small. We're not sick. We have people who have come to a conclusion in their life that they are going to go to school, and they are going to go to school to assist those of us who sometimes get off on the wrong path and think we're sick. In fact, once we think we're sick and we know this, that we're sick, there are those wonderful people out there who studied enough to help us get better. And it's good to know that there's stuff in the world. There's stuff in the world. There are people, honestly, who annoy me. What a concept. Are there people who annoy you? People will say, you're a minister. Yes, yes, yes. They're not science of mind people, of course. Well, what's wrong with why are you walking that way? Well, I have something I need to take care of physically. Well, but you're a minister. You're not supposed to get sick. You're supposed to understand science of mind to the point where you don't. Say whatever you want. Whatever don't you want. You don't. You don't. You don't. Just allow the person who asks you that question to contemplate the fact that they got some pieces they need to get together. We all have something that we need to get together. It may be the simplest reminder that it can be. It may be a huge reminder that there's pieces that we need to get together. And sometime on this reading on our bulletin within the message, a traumatic experience that you can either use as a personal reason for hiding and playing small in life. I'll go back way up to the beginning. Where in your life have you experienced a challenge? Shall we all get together and spread our challenges around? I don't think we have enough time. and trauma, injustice, challenge. You know what's one person's challenge is another person's skill. What is one injustice to one is justice for all. What is traumatic for one is a happy dance for somebody else. So just labeling what goes on in our lives and what we have to do and what we have to continue to remember is back to that first class that I mentioned. God is all there is, and there's nothing more. I need someone to tell me how much time I have because I can't see my time. I don't have a watch. Can you tell me the time, Laverne? Oh, you're muted. I'm sorry. Okay.
It's 11:04.
Pardon me?
It's 11:04.
11:04. Thank you, Chris. Would you please tell me when it is 11:20? Thank you. Okay, so moving along here, it's just so good to be able to even talk to you in person. I can see, we have a habit of sitting in the same seats in church, and I can almost map out where certain people are. Like I see the corner of Laverne over here at her desk, and I know you are there, and I love you all. So I'm going to see, I got some other notes here. Let Dr. Holmes' inspiration be our inspiration by setting clear and powerful intentions to consciously being, capital B, capital EING. Reverend Leora uses this term quite a bit, and I've heard her speak on being, you being in the presence of peace in our own lives. We are impacting the entire world with our peace. Oh my goodness, our peace. When don't you feel peaceful? When don't you feel peaceful? I think we could go around a circle and we could come up with a word. But how about us rejecting any word that doesn't indicate we're at peace? Let us reject any sight that we see without knowing that it is peace. Can we move into, or maybe I'm assuming this mistake. I may be wrong. I may be wrong here. If what I say is not your truth, then you're right on track. You're right on the path. But for me, I have to continue. It says, by setting clear and powerful intentions to consciously being in the presence of peace in our own lives. Every once in a while, other stuff sneaks in. No matter how wonderful we are, no matter how many times we meditate a day, no matter how many classes we've taken, we slip up. I think that's a good word. We slip up and we forget. We forget. Peace, God, Jesus, Buddha, Yahweh. There are many ways to express God and to know who and what God is. And one of the simplest ways is to go into that garden, to our own garden, and find the peace that is ours. And it's so, I thought a lot about, I think a lot about a lot of things, but it's the simple things through this process that will blessed me on Wednesday. I thought it was on Tuesday. I got the date mixed up. But anyway, on that bless us, the things that we do day to day. And I look around the house now that I'm around the house. And in my bedroom, I have a small jar. Oh, can't see. I have a small jar about yay big, and it's about that high. And I've been dropping my change in it, loose change in it. It's almost to the top. And it's got pennies, it's got the whole range of coins. And like I say, being aware of where I am and in the house and in the room where my bedroom is where it sits. And I realized one of the, not a project, but a focus that I am going to be aware of, and that is consistency. The more consistent that I am, the more fruit, the more shiny are the beads of water on the flowers in the garden. And one thing that I have proved that to be right is because what we all do, today's the fourth Sunday, what we do, those of us that focus on that EOM, end of the month contribution, the consistency of that, I realize, and I hope you realize, and I bless you for it, is how it grows. And it's deliberately, I'll say this because I kind of put this thing together and the board approved and we all move forward on it, because it is in a place where it is not touched. And it's the same with those coins in that jar in my room. I do not take coins out of it. I continuously put coins into it, even though it's taken quite a while to get way up to the top. If we look at peace, the notes that I have here, the readings that I've done, the readings that Jerry did so beautifully, the song, if we are consistent with peace in our thoughts, in our language, in our blessings, in our recognition of what else we need to add to our consistent patterns, we're moving right along. Consistent in being aware of our bodies, our health. It's so important. Do not ignore your health. Do not let anyone else tell you what's not good for you or what's right for you that may not be good for you. So this theme, going back here, monthly theme, pieces into peace. Oh, we have so many. We could build the trees out here because I don't think anyone wants to count the leaves on a tree leaf by leaf. I don't think I do. I got other things to do. But the multiplicity of that pattern, which comes back every season, consistency. Another thing is the weekly topic, putting the pieces together. Don't let them float out there into the nothingness. Do your prayer work. Take your time to meditate. Take your time. You see behind me is a labyrinth, and it's a mat that I bought at a workshop. And the labyrinth, if you look it up online, there are several different shapes, but you see it has a center. And right down here is the opening. And you go forward all the way to the first turn, and then you follow it, and then it turns, and it turns, and it turns. I did that very simply. That's not the way to get to the center. That is not the way to get to the center. by going and stopping. No, you will never get to the center. The joy of doing this, you can get a mat, you can print it off of online, you can go to, I forget, I shouldn't have mentioned that there's a church here in Cleveland. I'll get that place to you, that has the labyrinth outside. There's another one that's close to town, a church that has a labyrinth outside. And you walk the labyrinth, and you may wind up way over here or way up there before you even get to the center. So at the beginning, you take your thought, your meditative thought, and the focus on what you want to know by the time you get yourself into that circle. And when you get into that circle, then you know what you know that you didn't know that you didn't know. And this is my truth. At Asilomar State Park in California, where Science of Mind has meetings, there was a labyrinth in one of the rooms. And I took the question about whether I should go into ministry. When I got into that center, the answer was there. It was yes. As I walked across the bridge to go to the ocean, I walked toward my sister. And we both started to speak at the same time. And we both said, I've decided to go into ministry. And I say that because sometimes you think you're the only one that has a genius thought or an ungenius thought. I don't think that's a word. But you don't think that there's anybody else that thinks the way you do or feel the way you do. But that's not true. We're pieces. And we put these pieces together. And we do our whiny stuff. we do our, oh my goodness, that paid. Oh my goodness, I don't have enough money. Oh my goodness, I got to go to work. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Turn it around. I've got a job. I've got a chair to sit in that rolls and accommodates me around this house. I have a granddaughter who's strong enough to lift me, to get me into this chair on her arm. You know, turn it around, turn the pieces. I'm not a puzzle person, but I have seen people like my sister, by the way, that will sit in front of a puzzle for hours trying to put one little piece in. And when that one little piece goes in, she may get up and do something else. I'm not a puzzle person. So, you know, there's enough stuff in this world for us to think about and for us to do and for us to be, that this emotion of pieces and peace, don't worry if they're not exactly all smooth edges. Don't worry if you got to walk away from the puzzle once in a while and leave it and come back and walk up to it, and there's that piece looking you dead in the face. Use this era, this aura that is our era, to be the one, to be it, to be the Christ consciousness. Because if we are that within ourselves, whoever we come in contact with, whoever we see in a grocery store that's a little grumpy one day or whatever, and you crack those little lips and you show them a smile, 99.9% you'll get a smile back, or at least maybe a more relaxed face. So the pieces that you have, they compare to only you. To see about them, to think about them, to manage them, so to speak, to bring them into alignment. For some, the sooner the better. For others, you can wait, and you can wait, and you can wait. And that little tiny pain in the knee becomes a bigger pain in the knee. You know, they say, oh, that person's a pain in the neck. You don't have to worry about that person. Worry about your own self. Worry about how you are going to define your life. And the peace of mind that is alive in Science of Mind is going to be more prevalent, because I know it's there. Because if you're within the sound of my voice, you know it's there. Let it shine. I got a little light of mine. Let it shine. And I'm going to play this song now, if Chris would play it for me, please. And I just thought it was a beautiful song. And it's by one of my, and I think our favorite groups, and that's the Brooklyn Tabernacle Choir. And this is like a pledge for me. If you like it, if you like the song, if you like the thought, kind of take this on for yourself. I'm going to sing a new song. So let's listen to the song. As we make the commitment within ourselves, sing a whole new song. Sing a whole new song. Bless ourselves. Recognize who we are. We are the anointed ones. Not just because we sit in a religious science church or listen to the message on Zoom. It's because each and every person in this universal allness must recognize that their song is so special. Their song is peace. Let us live, let us be peace in every aspect of our beingness, in our body temples, and as we are whole and complete in our body, so is our perspective of the world. Not just us, but everyone that we hold in our hearts who may not understand yet that God is all there is, and I am one with it. I know there are those in our congregation who need our prayers in health, in wealth, in peace, in harmony, in personal relationships, to live in joy, to live as we each know we are, the one who is blessed, the one who is the I am. I bless each of us. I thank you for being here with me this morning. I am with you always in heart and prayer. And as we know this is our truth, let us say together, and so it is. Amen. I have just a couple, let's see, I do have the time. Okay. I have a thank you I want to read to you. I know you have it. Those of you on Zoom, you may be able to have seen it or see it. And it says, thank you, members and friends. October is here. After today, the last Sunday in September, we have 3 months before our church building is what? Paid off. Let me hear it.
Paid off.
Thank you. Bless you. With our continued dedicated support, this will occur with grace and ease. Thank you for your end of the month contributions over and above your weekly tithes and offerings in harmony, Reverend June. And before I have Jerry come back up, I would just like, on a personal note, feel free to call even after Wednesday. Probably later in the afternoons would be easier and good for me. And my granddaughter, Jasmine Johnson, and my daughter's daughter is here with me for her spell. My family has it spelled out to when they're going to come along and assist me here. So please give me a holler or a text, and I will lovingly keep you in mind. So I bless you this morning. So I'm going to turn the microphone back over to Jerry.
The other one. Okay. Wow, let's give Reverend June a round of applause.
Thank you.
This is in my way. Excuse you.
I know you got to run, Leora, so.
Okay. That was wonderful. I love that. Especially that second song, the one about the new song. Yes, yes. So anyway, let's do our benediction, and after that we're going to have a short meeting here. So if you would just stick around, and we will get an update on several different things that you need to know about as members and friends, and then we will conclude our activities for the day. So if you would just place your feet on the floor and just relax. Take a nice cleansing breath. We just give thanks for this time that we've had together. We give thanks that through the technology of Zoom and the intelligence of the people that can run Zoom, that we can bring Reverend June to us. That we can bring all of the ministers that are in Georgia or in California or wherever they are, we can bring them right here on Sundays. And we just give thanks for all of that. We give thanks for the time that we've been together. We give thanks for the songs, the music, the prayers, and everything that we've had this morning. And we know that as we go forth to our respective homes, that we are blessed in this week, and we're blessed for the rest of our lives. And if you're in agreement with me, you can say with me, and so it is,
So it is.
and so we let it be.